Of course, is as some of you might have read on our weekly updates, we have a solar subclass update coming with Season of Dawn. But on top of that, season over season, we're injecting new ways to play when it comes to like the artifact, changing up the mods there. So I'll dive in there real quickly. As you can see, last season it was the Gate Lord's Eye. This season it's called the Lantern of Osiris. Osiris and Saint 14 are our two main storylines, and so this is part of a storyline that will evolve over the course of this season, and you'll understand like where this kind of falls into place. We've also changed up a little bit of the artifact in the way like we have our mods laid out. As you can notice, we have in our first column here now we have our champion mods. Because the artifact resets at the end of the season, you're going to get a new one.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that this is something that you can reacquire pretty early on. These are going to be for different weapon archetypes from what you're used to in the past. And these will help you overcome, and you'll see here shortly, like the champions that we have for the Cabal.
This is your perfect weapon for the new combat conditions. As you go into the Sundial, which we will be playing in a matter of moments, this is going to really play into how you can perfectly configure your character to confront those new challenges.
Exactly.
You know?
And this upcoming season, we're focusing more on the long-range combat, precision shooting, and I'm sure Guardians have noticed that last season it was focused more heavily on Arc and Void. This upcoming season, because we did the Solar subclass update as well, we're going to be focusing heavily on Solar and Void as our secondary element.
Okay.
So here's a couple that I've selected for myself. I personally really enjoy pulse rifles and scout rifles and stuff like that, so I've grabbed a couple of those. As well as in the second column here, our Guardians probably remember from this past season, all of them were reloader mods. We've actually mixed it up, so now you can also get unflinching for certain weapon archetypes, as well as enhanced targeting. And then we've also added a couple new mods that players haven't seen yet. My personal favorite that I'm looking forward to using is this one called Guardian Angel. This allows you to get a chance of a healing orb to drop if you get a precision kill. And yeah, you have to use one of the precision weapons that is in meta for this season.
All right. And then let's take a look at configuring your character. Armor 2.0 was something that people delved into for the first time at the beginning of last season, and I understand it's evolving in this season.
It is. So the rewards team did an awesome job of giving us Armor 2.0, but Armor 2.0 by itself isn't the end of it. Like they're continuing to enhance the experience. And something that you might notice is any piece of gear that you acquired during Season of Dawn now has a different symbol in their fourth mod slot here. Instead of having the Vex symbol for signifying the last season, we now have a new symbol for Season of Dawn. And over the course of the season, through various activities within the season, you'll be able to acquire new mods that you haven't seen before. And these mods now have like a new mechanic that is called Charge with Light. And when you're charged with light, you actually get these benefits. So there's certain mods that allow you to get charges of light, and then there's certain mods that allow you to consume charge of light. And this becomes like this new gameplay engine that actually works throughout the entirety of Destiny now. It isn't just for the Nightmare hunts or just for the raid. So we're pretty excited for that.
Fantastic. All right, what else you got for us? What else is new?
All right, since I'm a hunter and I want to look cool, finishers is also a great way to look cool.
Yes.
So I'm going to go down to the finisher blade, and players might notice here that now you don't have just a single finisher icon here, so signifying that that is what you have equipped. Instead, now we have a new multi-equip feature. On systems, we want to continue to evolve our features and continue to make the experience better for our players. And so what multi-equip does is more or less like a playlist for your finishers. And you can have up to 9 in your bucket here, and then you can actually just do like a right thumbstick click, and then you can favorite them. And you see that little star next to that where it says legendary.
Yeah.
And then that allows you to actually then have those randomly be selected when you're doing finishers in the game.
You want to preview one of your favorites for us?
Yeah,
one or two of your favorites?
I'm definitely going to say, since Saint 14's coming back, everyone's going to love this one, right? You got to get that head bash.
And how can we earn that one?
This one, I believe, is on the Season's Pass. So
yes. Yeah, it's on the Season's Pass.
As long as you get the Season's Pass and you're playing the game, then you'll be able to earn this fairly quickly.
Wonderful.
And then you'll also have other ones that are going to be in the Eververse store. My personal favorite is this one here. Love that one.
All right, so it's easy to do this to a sweeper bot tackle dummy, but why don't you give us a taste of how this stuff actually looks in the wild?
Definitely. So
and for that, we take
Mercury
you live
here.
to Mercury, and
It's a sparrow.
It is.
Sparrows on Mercury. Let's see your parkour skills. Ooh. Can you stick the landing? Can you stick the landing?
Nailed it.
Beautiful. Stuck that landing too. Where are you going? Where are you going?
Oh,
you're far too lethal.
I'm too good.
Just too good for our own good. All right, seeking targets. You'll do.
Shoot him in the kneecap.
You're kneecapping that guy.
Oh, there's the headbutt.
Beautiful. Come on. Well, this isn't your dance. You want some of this?
Yeah,
you can have some. Wonderful. All right. That all looks great. So, changes afoot. New stories, new artifact, new combat meta. Obviously, when we're telling a new story and we have new media out there, we love to watch their reactions. But when we change the way they fight, there's obviously reactions there as well.
Yeah, so I think we've talked a lot about
how you are dressed for the occasion. Look at that. Lots of new gear to add to your collections. Using our developer tools, we can have this God's Eye floating through the space. You can see the gear that every player of Destiny 2 can earn as part of Season of Dawn. And then if you're a holder of the Season Pass, obviously in the premium track, you can earn these ornaments. Very Saint 14 inspired. Everyone's a knight in shining armor, and can't wait to make my warlock look that unflinchingly noble. So thanks for the preview. Before we actually activate the activity, I would like to lay down some developer commentary while they shoot those things in the face. Cosmo, you are prepared to begin this activity. First thing that we can notice here is that we have a new landing zone for the Sundial. And talk to me a little bit about the inspirations and the design motivations that went into breathing some new life into Mercury.
In Mercury, we had this really good opportunity from narrative to really clash all these different timelines. You got past, you got present, you got future, and as an artist, we wanted to see a lot of these assets again. So we just figured out how to make this as epic and as beautiful as possible. And then suddenly we had the idea what if we just put all of them all together? And it was daunting. It was really scary because there's a lot of technical challenges. We had to go around with lighting. We had to go around with world art and just over and over again to make sure they actually got it all working with these giant time walls and everything. But in the end, it was worth it. I'm really proud of the work we were able to do.
So we're going to be fighting our way up this slope here.
Yeah.
Matt, the sundial is sort of emerging in the distance. This is Osiris's device that he can use to sort of control the corridors of time, all the alternate realities. What were some of the themes and what were some of the different motivations that we embraced as we created this new action for the player?
Once we learned where we were going on the narrative front, Jonto, I'm so sorry, but it was obviously time cops stopping time crimes.
Time cops stopping time crimes.
And you can see players here. They just engaged with one of our new Cabal champions.
All right, and so here is this enormous device.
Thanks.
What were some of the different inspirations for creating this new structure? It's pretty daunting.
So for Sundial, we had to make this crazy time machine. It's super dangerous. It's trying to borrow a lot from this Vex tech, and then Osiris, this mystical arcane person's I got an idea, and he's built this crazy thing. So we had to mix a lot of these structures of this really cool visual effects language that we have for Vex, all the grids and stuff, and then try to immerse some of the really instrumental technical stuff that Osiris has, which is more inspired from the 18th century nautical instruments and stuff. And then we just built it, and it looks great. I love it.
So like we have set up in other activities, that was a totem they just interacted with, and that started the encounter. And it looks like they're in the future encounter here.
I love this one.
Yeah.
So they step through an aperture into a different alternate reality, into a different timeline, and
This is what could come to pass.
pardon me?
This is what could come to pass.
What could come to pass if we are not victorious. And when they activate this activity and they step through that window, they're not entirely certain what they're going to get. Like, this can be different combinations of timelines. It's going to be different every time they access the activity, yeah?
Yes, and the activity bosses will evolve. They will, week to week, they'll roll out a new one. And there's some surprises I really wish I could talk about, but I really wish I could talk about, but I'm super excited for players to find out what it is.
Yeah,
You know, as the season rolls on.
And to your point, yeah, week over week, there will be different bosses for them to face at the end of this activity. Our enemies have some tricks up their sleeves that will be revealed and understood over time. So your first experience with the Sundial will certainly not be like your last experience with the Sundial, and it'll be it'll be a varied experience. So
And the activity can't. You'll always complete it. It doesn't matter who you matchmake with. And so if players find themselves with you, they'll still be able to complete especially UD. They'll still be able to complete the activity.
what?
Yeah.
Shade.
Especially so yeah, the whole one of the goals for when we set this up is it's not a traditional horde mode. There are mechanics in here, and you'll find that there's a lot of different strategies you can incorporate in order to get through the activity and earn your rewards as fast as possible.
Yeah, okay.
And when hard mode comes out, you're gonna want to bring some friends that have, that have leveled up their artifact and gotten better mods to be able to use against.
So
the
point of order, the Sundial is a 6-player match-made activity.
Correct.
I can bring a pre-made 6-player fire team if I want. Obviously, a team that can communicate with each other and coordinate with each other can complete this activity more efficiently, more quickly, get to that loot at the end. But in terms of hard mode, that does require a pre-made fire team.
Yes.
Okay.
You're gonna.
Just want to set those expectations appropriately for our community. So we got some big bad bosses here.
I think players are gonna really enjoy the new champions.
One of the big challenges you have to figure out for this particular encounter is that we have to be able to throw this ball that creates this giant laser and stuff. So happy. I'm so glad we got that in there. But one of the difficulties is that you're looking at this really bright skybox, and we had to make a laser be brighter than the sun when we got on Mercury, and that was a challenge. I'm glad we got it working, but my gosh, we had to iterate a lot on that one.
Yeah.
So talk to me about what the players are doing right now. They're picking up these charges. How exactly are they using these to overcome the tactical conditions here?
So in this possible future, the Cabal have won. They've learned to potentially weaponize the light, and they have all their ships just in orbit, and you're basically, thematically, you're just basically saying, stop hitting yourself. You're throwing their kind of beacons. He's like, when I remember we were early in production, I went up to John, I'm like, can we get a line that says, "Idiots, turn off the laser!" It just cracked me up, but I don't think we got it. There might be a random chance, guys. I don't know, but it entertained me greatly.
I remember in production, when you first came up to me, hey, we got this prototype working. I saw it, I was like, my gosh, how are we gonna pull this off?
I'm gonna blow up the whole goddamn world with this thing. That's the power of fantasy here.
The Sundial itself, it looks like a very dangerous thing. It looks like the type of thing that your mother would tell you not to play on, and here we're sending 6 people up on that thing to play with time. What were some of the different discoveries that you make along the way through playtest with the Sundial specifically?
Make friends. I'm just kidding.
No, it was actually it was kind of humbling, and it just kind of it was a great exercise in just user experience, because you spend all this time building encounters, building mechanics, and tweaking things, iterating, and some of the most fun that we had in playtests, and we were noticing is players just like killing themselves. They really just like to entertain themselves by just being murdered over and over and over again. So the Sundial, it probably has some design flaws. Osiris, he was just
It's a feature.
Yeah,
it's a feature. Yeah.
There they go.
In some timelines they die, in some timelines they make it, You can't control time.
Yeah. Well, we encourage you all to be very careful as you play on the Sundial. That's the end of the first encounter, and there are several more encounters that would lead to the final boss. We will unveil